Alright guys, we are back for another Dokkan battle video. So, kind of a strange day. Just a quick, kind of like channel update here. So I dropped this 13 hours ago. No videos is uncommon for me, but after recording this video, I actually started to record the long video for 17 and Golden Frieza, and I got through one fight, and then I was just like, damn, I'm tired. And then I just was like, I'll just take a quick nap, and then I woke up 12 hours later. So, here we are. I don't have many uploads for the day. I was planning to get, again, like the LR17 Golden Freeze version of this. So now I'm not going to be able to get the video up tonight. So, I thought another good thing I could do, recommended by a homie here, is I could just go over which characters I think global players should specifically target from the banners. Now, I will say this. You guys know I frequently mock people who reroll. I think it's a very foolish practice. People are throwing away their account, throwing away the thousands of free stones they've gotten from their account, everything, just for the instant gratification of getting the new unit, who's going to get power crept anyway, right? Broly, I mean, no offense to anyone, is already on his way out the door. He's already not the best unit on Super Bosses, right? Cell Max is. So, it's like Broly will be tumbling out of the top 10 very soon. So it's just how it goes. I mean, Broly at this point on JP, I mean, he came out in January, right? Like, we're talking about a 7-month, 6-month-old unit here. So, the practice of re-rolling is just not very smart, especially when we look at how they are operating with EZAs nowadays. Now, we could kind of just, skip over to the Beast Gohan banner. I mean, Beast is, in my opinion, the #1 best unit in the game. And then I would say UI and Evolution Blue Vegeta. I'm actually kind of back and forth on Tech UI Goku. I don't know. I do feel like I need to move Tech UI Goku behind Vegeta and Goku. I do think so. Tech UI Goku just dies too much. UI Goku doesn't die. Tech UI Goku dies a lot for me. So it's like at a certain point, it's like, I mean, if he could stop dying, I feel good about this, but he just dies. Vegeta and Goku don't die. Beast does not die. Like, these characters don't die. Tech UI Goku does. And all this bottom row, they all die as well. Well, Piccolo, you gotta try hard to die with Piccolo, to be fair. But yeah, anyway, blah, 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 blah. So, again, Broly's gonna be falling out of the top 10 soon. I mean, some of these other characters are. Maybe Gogeta is, although, it's tough to... Gogeta has one of these target mechanics, which is huge. But you look at the way they're turning... Look, okay, so let's just focus on the characters here that are EZAs. Now, I'm going to do an update on this very soon, maybe even tomorrow, that's going to have LR Team Universe 7 and Golden Frieza in 17. I think, like, Team Universe 7 and Golden Frieza in 17, I might actually have them in front of Gogeta, believe it or not. I think these yellow coin LR EZAs are just that good. So, kind of a long intro here just to kind of dissuade people from re-rolling. I don't think it's a good idea. I think you're going to hurt yourself by re-rolling in the long run. I mean, again, these characters will get power crept. EZA, like, having these old characters does matter when they're making them as strong as they are. I mean, these are EZAs, characters that came out 3 years ago. These are both, like, top 10 overall units in the game. And they're just yellow coin LR EZAs. So, I would encourage players not to reroll as much as possible. Now, when it comes to, like, picking out characters and stuff like that, so we have the 4 anniversary banners. Obviously, Global has the Gogeta and Broly banner up right now. But then we also have the Beast banner, and then we have the Gamma's banner. Yeah, I feel like I like the Gamma's banner much better than Gogeta's banner, right? Oh, yeah, dude. Like, Future Gohan is way better than Trunks. Bulma is 1,000 times better than this Goku right there. Carnival Goku... I mean, him and Kid Gohan are both aged, like, pretty poorly at this point. I don't know. I guess Carnival Goku is probably a bit better than the Gohan. I don't know that it matters too much. And this Goku or Metal Cooler, I mean, they both kind of have a similar purpose in just, like, reviving and stuff like that. But, I mean, I would say that the Gamma's banner feels a lot better than Gogeta's banner, for sure. Now... Beast is definitely the best unit in the game by far. I do think, like, when I look at this, I think Beast has a huge gap on Cell Max. But a lot of the things that make Beast #1 by far, Cell Max can replicate some of these, which is why I do, like, I feel comfortable about that. Beast 1, Cell Max 2, a tier above everything else. I do think so. Because, again, they have very similar abilities. But Beast, I almost still, it's just, in order for Beast to die, you have to actively sabotage him. You have to go out of your way to do something unnatural in order for Beast Gohan to die. Right? It's just, he can't be touched. And he does really competitive damage, even versus characters like Evolution Blue Vegeta, UI Goku, who have guaranteed crits at 24 key, or Blue Kaioken, Evolution Blue Vegeta, who have guaranteed crits at 24 key. Broly, I feel like, doesn't actually put up as much damage as people pretend he does, until he transforms, because he doesn't have the crazy crits and shit like that built in. It's once he transforms, he's got, over a 50% chance to crit. And, I mean, it's just a carnival of super attacks coming from Transform Broly. Right, but, like, some of these characters, like, they're doing essentially guaranteed crits the entirety of the fight. It's insanity. So they're doing ridiculous damage. And Beast is able to keep up with them, because he, most of the time, is critting as well. It's very rare for Beast to do an attack that's not just a crit. So if you're coming into the anniversary, I do just think, like, you gotta get Beast. Beast is so powerful, so strong at the start of these fights. He also invalidates, like at EZAs, right? So people have shown LR EZAs, they just run double Beast. They don't even give two shits about, what is the LR EZA weakness and so, like, they just don't care. They just run double Beast and blow through it in 2 seconds anyway. Like, that's how strong he is. Like, it's just, like, he is just on a different level. Like, I'm sorry. People at this point, I noticed some annoyance is starting to bubble up that he's just been so far ahead for this long, but I mean, they did exactly what they needed. This, in my opinion, this is what they needed to do with Beast after the LR Physical Ultimate Gohan shenanigans. I think they truly did make up for it with what they did with Beast. So, getting Beast is huge. If you get Broly, understand that Broly has basically the entire anniversary on his leader skill. Most major characters in 2024 came out on his leader skill. So you could get, Broly, you could get Gogeta, you could get Beast, and Evolution Blue Vegeta, and they're all on his team, right? You also have a very strong other EZA coming in, Yellow Quinn, LR Broly, Chan Lemo, a huge character to hit, right? Like, these 4 banners carry with them a lot of really, really good characters. And, I mean, if you pull the LR Gods and then the LR Super Saiyan 4s, I mean, keep in mind, Global is going to get the 10th anniversary in January. The next anniversary for Global is only in 6 months, basically. So, you guys aren't going to have to worry about, like, a year away or anything like that. In, 7 months at the end of... It's going to be, like, February 20th, 21st, 22nd, 23rd, 24th, sometime in that 4-day range, the LR Gods and LR Super Saiyan 4s are going to be getting their EZAs, and they're going to become, top 5 units in the game. And that's another reason why it's not good to reroll constantly, because they're constantly power creeping the characters people reroll for and bringing in the strong EZA characters. So Superhero is, like, undeniably the best team in the game. Right, once, it probably already is on Global. I mean, it will be very soon. But if you just look at what Superhero has gotten this year, it's pretty nuts. I mean, I guess they haven't had... Well, I mean, they've had 2 Dokkan Fest LRs and a Carnival LR. Well, and 2 Carnival LRs. 2 Dokkan Fest LRs, 2 Carnival LRs in the first 6 months. So that's obviously a huge amount. Yeah, that is a huge amount right there. And then, once you factor in the EZAs, it just gets very ridiculous. I mean, these characters are so nuts. The thing about the Gammas, I don't think the Gammas are not a high tier, like a high priority. At this point, I feel like I typically don't even run the Gammas. The Gammas are good, but it's kind of like their inconsistency, and they have a bit of weakness at the start that some of these other top tier characters don't have. I mean, Gogeta is going to be, I think, a little bit better turn 1 than the Gammas. The Gammas, if you get, let's say the Gammas are in turn 2, and you take a little bit of damage turn 1, which, I mean, the 2 hardest fights right now are supering you for 2.5 million damage turn 1. So it's like, and the Gammas get one shot by that, and both fights the Gammas get one shot by that, right? But if you have the Gammas on turn 2 and you've taken damage, which is a real thing in those fights that you take damage early, right? Which helps out a character like STR Vegito, for example, although he gets crushed by Cellmax, but at least in the fight against Blue Cow Goku and Evolution Blue Vegeta, he is able to get his transformation pretty easily, and he does have type advantage to help him out against them. So I found STR Vegito to be a good run in the new fight, whereas the Gammas, it's like they double super Blue Cow Goku and Evolution Blue Vegeta. So any slot could be a super, and if they target the Gammas are washed. You can get the Gammas to transform immediately, though. The Gammas have one of the best conditions for transformation we have ever seen before, because there's 2 different ones you could get. They do 3 attacks, or you're just under 70% HP. So again, turn 1, you take 30% damage. Beast Gohan sits in slot 1, takes 150k or something like that. I don't know. And then you could just immediately go into the standby. They get significantly better once they go into their standby. Their damage reduction goes up quite a bit. They get quite a bit better. But again, I've just found that they just aren't really so needed. And I mean, characters that need orbs, like, okay, a character that needs orbs that does not create rainbow orbs can have consistency issues. It's just something that's going to happen. Now, Gamma 1 is not really too bad because it's int or STR orbs, and he does, of course, turn EGL orbs into int orbs, so you've got a decent shot of that. But like where he can be super mega elite is once he gets a lot of int or STR orbs, right? Gets that big damage reduction, and you never want to discredit how dominantly powerful this is right here. 50% defense for super class allies for 2 turns is huge. But the Gammas to me are an easy, like of the 4 characters, the Gammas are the easiest skip. Because the Gammas are outshined by just easy A's on their own team. I mean, you could say the same thing about Gogeta, but Gogeta's bringing a different type of strength. Gogeta, at the end of the fight, with his active, his target attraction, his taunt ability, I mean, that is just, it's very difficult to replicate how powerful that is and how strong Gogeta's going to get towards the end, right? Gammas do have a lot of support, though. I mean, I'll always ride for the Gammas being a strong support unit. I mean, support units are really, really, really helpful, but they just aren't as needed as the other 3. Broly, even though Broly doesn't really have any of the special bells and whistles that the other characters have, Broly is a villain. And, I mean, Broly is probably the 2nd best villain in, well, I don't know. I mean, I would probably rank Fat Boo and Boo-Tank's above Broly, Cellmax above Broly. Is that where I'd get him? I don't know. I'd have to think about it more. But there's not nearly as many villain characters as there is superclass characters, right? Like, that's the thing. You could skip Gogeta, and then if you've got Blue Cow Ken, Evolution Blue Vegeta, they're doing almost everything that Gogeta will for you and more at the start of the fight. It's just once you get towards the end, they can't match Gogeta. Like, fully built up Gogeta at the end with his taunt ability, this character is not competing with him, right, for sure. But over the first couple of turns, they're outright better than Gogeta. So it's like, there's not really a ton of, like, villain replacements for Broly, is the thing. So I would try my best to encourage players to aim for Broly. You could get Golden Frieza. He's good. Golden Frieza is good as long as you have Super Boss's characters around, so you can grab him. Fusion Zamasu can work effectively. It's like he's not dominant, Fusion Zamasu, right? It's like his first turn, he's mega elite, and then he does kind of slowly kind of like fade away. But I mean, he could still be competitive. The biggest issue for Zamasu and Rose and Broly is that they're all fighting over the domain mechanic. The domain mechanic is terrible. It's horrible. It's awful. I can't stand it. But a lot, like, okay, so like if we look at Broly's banner, right, and I was trying to just talk to potentially like a new player or even just like a global player, you definitely, of course, want to get Broly. I would almost say like this character, you want them at least with a dupe or 2 dupes for when they eat. On global, they're going to ease in about a week's time. And I mean, again, they will do 70%, 80% of what Gogeta does. Or even, I mean, I could even just say, I don't know that I could ever say that they're outright better than Gogeta, just because you have to respect his taunt. that ability. But like it's very similar what they could do. Remember, this character, again, in 7 months is going to be a top 5 unit in the game. Cooler's dead. This character is mostly just like a gimmick unit at this point with the Spirit Bomb. They can be competitive, but it's you got to get like very like particular luck, right? Because they can't do anything in base form. In base form, they will always die for you. Like, they're not outside of like a Red Zone movie boss rush or something like that. That base form just can't handle business anymore. The 5th anniversary Blue Fusions still have a little bit of juice with their 100% dodge when they transform, but I mean, they will get crushed as well. And then Physical Broly sucks besides World Tournament. Over here, it doesn't look too good. I am not a fan of basically any characters on this banner. Gogeta, Broly-chan, Lemo, you want to get this character. I mean, I'll meme about this character all day long, and I'll battle with their fan base, which is kind of obnoxious. But they are needed because they're a villain. So few good villains in the game. So few elite defensive villains in the game. You have to have this character and you have to be running them because not a lot of villains can replicate what they do. And again, there's mission-based content. People will do the shit where they go, just because you're running a villain team doesn't mean it has to be a full villain team. And they'll do this whole spiel and blah, 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 just talking out of their ball sacks. Well, I mean, there's missions to use full villain teams. Well, it's full villain teams plus 1 extra unit. So what you could do is you could run Broly, Extreme AGL, get an Extreme Tech option, Extreme SCR, Extreme Physical, and you can run Beast Gohan. And that would work for like the Cell Max mission or something like that. You can do that. But they're very big. I mean, LR, SCR, UI Goku can be solid. I mean, these are sub EZAs. Krillin is worthless. I think Metal Cooler is worthless. Just one of these gimmick units people control with, but like he's not competitive. This Goku's not competitive. I don't think Sword of Hope Trunks is that impressive. To be fair to him and the GT Goku and Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta, those 2 characters I have not used much this year. I probably should. I still want to do the video ranking every character until I get to them, but I'm hesitant to do it because I want to make sure that it's a good list and I'm confident in it. Like I kind of feel like I need to do a video on them and a video on Trunks before I do it, right? Like I don't know, but yeah, blah blah blah. You guys get it. Gogeta is obviously very good there. When it comes to Beast banner, I mean, Krillin and 18 can be solid. You don't need to get them, though. I mean, Superhero is such an ultra-competitive team that they kind of just don't really have a place, even though they have a solid design. They're dead. Again, this character, I think, could probably be solid, but you just need to get good luck that they're not going to get targeted by a lot of the big bosses, and a lot of the big bosses are hard to predict, like Blue Gogeta, Cell Max, and the Blue Kaioken Goku and Evolution Blue Vegeta. Those fights are hard to predict where they're going to super. These guys are must-haves. I mean, they're, hard, some of the best units in the game. I think when I update this next, I will be moving Tech UI Goku behind Vegeta and EGL UI Goku. Because, again, as I said at the start of it, he just dies so much. I can't put him in front of these characters who never die. Like, how could I do that? How could I do that? I can't do that. They're dead. They're dead, but in 7 months, they're going to be top 5. Obviously, we talked about them. Piccolo sucks. Gohan and Goten suck. Moving over to the Gamma's banner. Future Gohan is probably, I'm hesitant to toss out that overrated, underrated tag to every single character that exists. I would argue Future Gohan is much better than people realize. But I don't think, it's just that no one talks about him. It's not, I don't see people saying he sucks. I don't see people saying he's mega good. He just is more competitive, I would argue, than people think. Future Gohan. He's very good because he's very strong defensively in slot 2 or 3 for the first 5 turns. That's good. Right now, I mean, I'm ending these toughest fights on turn 5, turn 6, maybe turn 7, right? So it's like Future Gohan, he'll be competitive in there. Bulma is still really good, not in slot, both of these characters are still really good, just not in slot 1. They can't handle slot 1 anymore, right? You're running them in slot 2, slot 3. Bulma is a character with her multiple turn support and her Rainbow Orb changing and her guaranteed additionals and the debuff and the active skill. Bulma will be a good character probably for quite a while. She's not going to be the anchor god of the team where you're running her in slot 1 and shit like that like we were in 2023, but Bulma's still going to be really good. And then this Goku's dead. This Goku's dead besides memes. Zamasu sucks. LR Rose is dead. This Trunks is dead. This guy Goku sucks. This Vegeta sucks. So I guess, I mean, you have this first 3 right here, and then the rest of the banner, I'm not really a fan of. I do think you can completely skip the Gamma banner, and it will have no impact on anyone. You just completely skip the Gammas. There's no reason to summon for them. Even their leader skill is 200% the superhero, but ding, 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 you know, you're probably just going to run double Beast Gohan, who's the best unit in the game by far. So, the Gammas kind of... I do really think they probably should have swapped the Gammas for Cell Max. Had Cell Max been the Carnival LR 200% to Super Bosses, we might have been cooking a lot more with the Super Bosses team, but, you know, it is what it is. So, let me know what you guys think. Again, the Gammas and Beast Gohan, I believe that their banner should be on July 29th. I think is when their banner is going to be dropping. So Beast, Gammas should be July 29th. Let me know what you guys think. Good luck for any summons. Thanks, guys, for watching, and I'll catch y'all next time. Mwah!